Joe,
Greg.
I've been thinking about the movie RoboCop,
Have you?
and I'm not saying I'm a criminal, but if I had to get into a tango with RoboCop, a physical altercation, I was trying to think about, no weapons, mano a mano, me versus RoboCop. What
He's
would
not a
I
man.
do?
He's not a man.
I'm just trying to think, like, could I double leg RoboCop?
Are you asking me?
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think so, man.
Do you think I could choke RoboCop if I got on his back? Like, what's the situation with blood on the carotids there?
I mean, it seems like it's more of like a wires than veins, so I'm not sure it's going to work, buddy.
So arm barring RoboCop is not the move.
Probably not. Probably not.
Got it.
Put it in your
Noted.
notes.
Noted.
Welcome to the Prime Cut Podcast, a movie discussion show aimed at recommending deep cuts, flawed gems, and forgotten masterpieces. Greg, you mentioned the 1987 film RoboCop, which is what we are talking about today.
All Detroit has a cancer. The cancer is crime.
We need a self-sufficient law enforcement robot.
How long will it take?
We can go to prototype within 90 days.
Where are you from?
Metro South.
Welcome to hell.
All units, sector 9.
Dead or alive, you're coming with me.
You're gonna be a bad mother.
Half man,
This guy is really good.
half machine,
RoboCop. What is he?
He's a cyborg, you idiot.
all hero.
What are your prime directives?
Protect the innocent. Let the woman go, or there will be trouble. Uphold the law. You are under arrest.
What is this shit?
Justice gets an upgrade.
Looking for me? Your move, creep.
RoboCop.
Thank you for your cooperation. Good night.
When was the last time you saw this movie?
High school? 20 years ago?
Jeez.
Yeah. Long time.
This will be interesting this week. I know that producer Mark just saw it for the very first time today.
Shocking, but yet not shocking.
Whoa. I don't know if that's a shot at me or what. I wasn't able to speak on
You're a
last
babe in the
podcast.
woods. You're a
And we have a special guest. We've got our good friend Chris Weaver on this week.
What's up, guys? How you doing? Thanks for having me.
Chris.
Chris, tell people a little bit about what you do.
Well, I've been working as an electrician in film and television since 2007, 2008, one of those. And yeah, I've just been doing that. I started in New Orleans, and now I live in New York. Moved here in 2015, and it's been a little rocky these past few years with the strike and all the bullshit. But yeah, it's been, I've been working on a bunch of shit.
What movies have you been a part of?
Oh, I'm trying to think. The biggest, shittiest one was Green Lantern, the Ryan Reynolds.
Wow.
Green Lantern.
Holy.
Legendary bomb.
Yeah, that was interesting. That was
What's your favorite one?
my favorite one that I worked on. Just like movie or the
Yeah,
experience?
Movie. Like the movie where you're like, this movie, I worked on this movie and I actually liked it afterwards. I watched it. It was good.
The one that comes to mind right off the bat is 22 Jump Street. That was a lot of
that's
fun.
sick.
Like it.
It was
Like it.
Yeah, it was fun. I haven't seen it. I think I watched it right after it came out, but it was a lot of fun to work on. And I think it's a funny movie.
I think it's funny.
Like, yeah,
really
yeah,
funny.
it's not bad.
I like
Which
it.
Yeah.
one? Which one's the one where he says, "My name is Jeff"? Is that the first
That's
one
the
or
second
second
one.
one?
No, that's that
That's-
one. It's 22.
That's the one you worked on.
Yeah.
So
Great scene.
Were you around when that scene was recorded?
Oh yeah, that was we were on the dock, some dock somewhere in New Orleans, and then they they took us to Puerto Rico for the Puerto Rico shit. It was
Wow.
like 2 weeks in Puerto Rico, and that was the only time. I think that's one of the only times I've been not even out of country, but not in the United States technically. But it was cool. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, it was.
Does everybody laugh behind the scenes when that's being recorded with like the funny moments of that stuff?
The one movie I did work on where that happened all the time is came out as This Is the End, This Is the End. On that one, that was because it was just Seth Rogen and his Evan Goldberg, I think is his directing partner.
Mm-hmm.
They would just say shit behind the monitor. They'd be behind the monitor. People were rolling, and they'll say, "Hey, say fucking, you're gonna eat his ass," and they'll say it, and then everyone would die laughing. That was one of the times when, but that's pretty rare. But yeah, that was it can't happen.
Wait, so the director sits behind there and he's shouting out lines to say while they're acting?
You can, like, they'll it on that one in particular, they would just keep rolling, and Evan and Seth Rogen would come up with a line, and they would shout it in the middle of take, and in the middle of take they'll reset, and then they'll say the line, whatever. But they were high 24/7, just thinking of what I mean. So it was pretty wild. It was a lot of fun.
That movie had a lot of drama behind it with like Danny McBride and stuff, right? Or with Seth and the one kid, the tall kid,
Jay
with the black hair
Baruchel.
Jay.
Yeah. It was weird, man. On that one, I mean, they were all really weird except for Danny. And Danny McBride was just like really funny and just a regular guy. But all the others were just, actors are, they're strange in general. I know they have to lock in and they have to focus, so I understand that. But actors in general are kind of, they're a special breed. I'll say that they're different. So yeah, it was a weird vibe, but it was still a lot of fun. So
that's cool. We're looking forward to your insight on how you view movies differently, and particularly this week's episode with RoboCop.
Yeah, man, for sure.
All right, so business up front. You can find us on Instagram, Prime Cut Podcasts. We're on TikTok. We got the Tiki-Talkies going on there, Prime Cut Podcast as well. Email us recommendations or requests at theprimecutpodcast@gmail.com. I believe Joe's got a going list of some movies that have been requested through that email.
Yeah, just because you request it doesn't mean we're going to do it. Not to be rude, but think about what we talk about on this movie podcast: deep cuts, flawed gems, forgotten masterpieces. If you request Saving Private Ryan, probably not going to do it. Not because it's not a great movie. It is. It's a masterpiece. What do we have to say about it?
Whoever's requesting Saving Private Ryan, please keep requesting it. We'll break Joe down.
I mean, look, I would love to talk about it. It's one of my favorites, but it definitely does not meet our criteria. We're looking for something a little off-center here. Greg, you know who's the biggest offender? It's Greg.
Yeah,
it's true.
Greg picks like the top movie from every year. What about this one? No. So we're working through that with Greg along with our audience.
Okay. So we've got RoboCop. Man, I don't think I've seen this movie in 30 years. It's crazy.
Greg, we were kind of talking about this a little bit. This movie was on basic cable a lot when we were like teenagers, I feel like.
I don't know how.
I don't either, because it's super violent. And I feel like I've seen it a bunch, but that's only because I've seen like 20 minutes of it here, 10 minutes of it there. It's been on like TNT before, Thursday Night Basketball or whatever. And I really am kind of shocked that they picked this movie to be like, let's make a TV edit for this. This is like uber violent. It's kind of cartoonish violent, but there's a high body count. There's a ton of blood, ton of crazy effects. Like there's a lot happening in this movie. It doesn't seem like the most TV friendly film, but yet it was on all the time.
It's wild. What do you consider this movie, Joe?
I think this is a flawed gem. It's not a deep cut. Too many people know about it. It's kind of a legendary movie. I don't know that it's forgotten either, although I think it's like a borderline masterpiece for the genre. And we're going to talk about the director, Paul Verhoeven. He has like 5 movies, and like he has a somewhat extensive filmography. I would say there's 4 or 5 movies that we're going to list off that everyone who watches movies is like, I know all of those movies. And like 3 of those are like amazing. And I think this is like pretty close to like, this is like master level, but it's kind of a B schlock movie also, which is what makes it so good, in my opinion.
All right. So we've had some debates behind the scenes about this where I often feel like whenever a movie's older that it starts to fall into that category of deep cut because people just don't know about it. So for instance, Mark, you saw this movie for the first time today. What did you know about RoboCop before? What was your experience with this, and what do you categorize this as?
Man, all I knew is that, he would shoot people in the dick, and I thought he did it more than what I actually saw. But dude, if I wasn't on this podcast, I probably wouldn't have ever watched it because, like, I don't have cable anymore. No one has cable, right? I mean, luckily this was on HBO Max, so if you want to watch it, you can watch it for free on HBO Max. You can also rent it on Apple TV, Amazon, yada yada. But I think when we were talking about forgotten masterpieces, this kind of does fall into that category. This was the perfect B movie. It's like it was enjoyable to watch, and it didn't feel like it was aged. What 87 is what? 36. I'm bad at math.
Do the math.
No. Wait, hold on.
How old are
90,
you? Do it. Start with that.
I'm like 21. So
we're gonna leave this in, by the way.
I think it's like 36. I think it's like 36 or 37 years. It doesn't feel that way. Like it looks like, I'm pretty sure we watched in HD, but it looks good. And like all the squibs and the special effects that they use,
incredible squibs.
They use actual meat in the squibs.
The squib work in this movie is like unparalleled, in my opinion. I couldn't think of another movie that had this much squibs, and they're all like ridiculously good.
They're good.
Yeah.
And Greg brought up a good point about it being on TV. The original like recording of it or whatever release was X rated.
Believe it.
So they must have been doing some crazy editing work to put it on TV, like they do on like the sex scenes. When you're watching TBS or Comedy Central, they're editing that out. I assume that's what they did.
Yeah, it is. And Verhoeven like flirts with NC-17 and X. He's done that before, so that's nothing new to him. I feel like. We've talked to us about your love for this film.
Mine? Oh shit. Well, I have seen it. Shit. I think before Greg told me about this, I'd probably seen it a couple of years ago, and I didn't really think about why I love this movie so much until Greg was like, hey, we're going to do RoboCop. And I watched it again. And did you guys watch the documentary on it?
Parts
the
of it.
RoboDoc?
I watched parts of it.
So
yeah.
it's a 4-part series on Amazon, right?
Yeah.
And
I wanted to come prepared, so I watched it. And I realized, and it helped me kind of understand, like, why I love this movie so much. And I'm sorry, you just asked me when's the last time I saw it or my love for it.
Yeah, why do you love it?
I just just the people who came together to make this movie. You're right, when you keep saying B, it's like a B movie, but so many talented people came together in terms of director, cinematographer, actors, the score, the special effects, all of it. All these really stellar people came to work on a B movie and elevated it to something that was just, it's just fucking fantastic in my opinion. And the ending of this movie always really got to me. And after watching all this stuff, it's kind of helped me understand why, in a sense. But yeah, I could gush about this fucking movie.
Wait, what do you mean the ending got to you?
The ending, the last scene of the movie. Like, I know this sounds weird, but throughout the years, I could watch that scene. I'd be like, "Fuck no!"
When he says because he says his name,
dude. I swear to God, dude. I swear to fucking God, I will. Every now and then, I'd pull it up on YouTube, And when he says Murphy, my skin gets all fucking red. I'm like, Murphy. And I don't know. It just fucking happens.
I'll tell you what, it's way better that he doesn't say RoboCop.
Oh my God.
Like, he never says RoboCop at all,
He never
right?
says it. And if he did, in that scene, because you're not sure, you're kind of like, is he going to say RoboCop? And because he doesn't, and he says Murphy, it's it really like underscores what this movie is trying to say from like more of a commentary perspective, in my opinion. It humanizes him too.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
Absolutely.
So I think this movie straddles the line of deep cut because of its age. I'll always feel that any movie that's older, but only because
there could be a deep cut that came out this year.
There could be, yes, right. I agree.
Just because you are like, that's an old movie, I don't care for it.
No. I love this movie.
Okay,
but I think that if you're young, it'll be a deep cut. If you are familiar with this movie, I think it is a forgotten masterpiece.
Okay.
I think that it does a lot of things really well. And I think that this is probably, Joe and Mark, both of you said it, that it's kind of like it's almost like a B movie. But it's a B movie done exceptionally well. And B movies typically aren't like, the storytelling, it's got like big misses in it, and don't get me wrong, this has its own flaws in its own right, but for the time I think that it was pretty damn good.
I think it knows it's a B movie though. That's what I like about it.
Well, it was a huge success too when it came out.
Monster smash,
was massive,
huge smash. But it's not like, it doesn't take itself too seriously, and I think that to me is a little bit of a difference where it's like there's social commentary here for sure, which we're going to touch on. There's, to Weaver's point, like Rob Bottin does all the special effects. He's a master. He did all the things special effects. He's a longtime John Carpenter partner. Like, he's like the physical special effects guy. He built the suit. Like, he's the man. They got like top of the line people for that stuff, but they also are like, this is like a blockbuster movie. They know that, which I think sometimes it can be overly serious, or maybe it's not serious enough. And this movie like strikes the right balance, I think, which is why it's so good. I think so. I want to talk about the director. We got a cast that we kind of got to touch on. Where do you want to start, Greg? Do you want to do director first? You want to do Peter Weller?
So let's talk about Peter Weller for a second. And
what a weird career.
I got to say this about Peter Weller. Yes. Like, all right. So RoboCop, 1987, massive success. It spawned RoboCop 2. And I don't think he was in RoboCop. Was he in RoboCop 3?
No.
I don't think so, no.
Yeah, I don't think he was in RoboCop 3. And then RoboCop obviously spawned off like so many different things, including a video game and a lot of other stuff. I mean, it was unescapable for its time. But for how big of a movie is, correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels like Peter Weller didn't do a lot of big things. Like this was like the peak of his career instead of like the launching pad for it. Am I wrong?
No, you're totally right. He has like such a weird career because he doesn't do much. I guess Buckaroo Banzai in 1984, kind of a cult classic. It's like a bad sci-fi Indiana Jones movie. It's not that good. It's fine. He does Leviathan after RoboCop. I don't know if you've seen Leviathan. If either of you have seen that. I don't know if you've seen that.
No.
It's kind of cool. It's like he's basically like the leader of a team of scientists that are in this pod that has been anchored to the sea floor, and they're doing like underwater research. And
this feels like a James Cameron plot.
It a little bit is. And this huge like Leviathan, literally like a big monster, breaks into the research facility and like kind of terrorizes them. It's kind of like a sci-fi horror movie. It's
Sounds
good.
Fucking awesome.
It's really cool.
I want to see it.
Yeah, it's worth seeing, but it's again like he really doesn't do much at all. I mean, I'm looking here and I feel like I've seen a lot of movies. I've seen Screamers, which he did in 1995, another like sci-fi movie, but I'm going to read off a few movies here. Decoy, Top of the World, Diplomatic Siege, Shadow Hours, Contaminated Man, Styx, Man of God, Undiscovered, The Hard Easy, Once Fallen, Forced to Fight, Dragon Eyes. These are like this is post RoboCop, and I've heard of none of those.
Yeah,
It's like he struck lightning for a second and then that was it.
Yeah, and it's like he directed some TV movies. I think he dabbled in like some writing and television. Just kind of an interesting guy, I guess. I don't know. He's lived abroad a lot. I think he has a PhD. He's an interesting dude. I think he's good in this, but it's like why did he get cast in this movie? Because I don't know. It's strange, but he fits.
I have a question. What do you? Okay, you kind of just touched on it. You said he's good. Do you think that people saw him as RoboCop and they were like, "I want that guy in my movie"? His face wasn't in any of the movie.
Yeah, he's very obscure. That's true. You really see his chin for like 3/4 of the movie.
I don't know how much he's being like. I don't know how much that like this kind of tracks for me because then you see him do a bunch of like voice acting, which is all that he did. He couldn't even talk in the robot suit, in the RoboCop suit. All like most of it is dubbed. Like what we're hearing in the movie, it's all dubbed. It's all post audio. That's why it sounds more robot-y.
Did you guys see that he, for the first like couple of months of filming, he was like going method and would only answer to Robo?
Mm-hmm.
Which is fucking hilarious because it's like, dude, this is probably the least amount of acting you actually have to do in this movie. Like, you don't need to be in character here.
I mean, there's that Robo Oreo story that went viral recently. Are we going to talk about that?
I'm sure we will. Do you want to bring it up?
That was in the last part of the doc. Yeah, as they talked about that. It's like part 4 of that doc is the Oreo thing. But I will say in the doc, Verhoeven says that he mostly, a big part of it was his chin profile.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because this is, that's all you saw for a lot of it. So Verhoeven was like really focused on, and they talked about how, I think they were like, oh, what about Schwarzenegger? And they're like, the suit would be fucking ginormous. It's like, no, it cannot, it has to be someone who's svelte, who's fucking kind of, got like almost like a marathon runner's body. But what else was I gonna say? Oh yeah, did you guys know where he got the walk from? They talked about this, but
no,
his robo walk.
I thought it was because the suit was so heavy and wacky to wear.
Well, it was at first very constrictive, like he couldn't walk at all. So they actually flew in this dance guy, some dance teacher. I forget his name, isn't coming to me right now, but they flew him in from New York, and he worked with this dance instructor. So if you'll notice a lot in the movie, like when he breaks into the warehouse, when he goes, he's fucking dancing, bro. He goes like this,
yes,
and then he goes like this. And it's all these, like, it was pretty cool hearing him and how this dance instructor, how they came up with basically the Robo Walk.
Very choreographed.
Very choreographed, very, to him it was a fucking dance. And, for as weird as he was, he really got in. Like you said, he was like, call me Robo, and he wouldn't fucking go by anything else.
Fine.
He was about it.
It makes sense when you say the chin, though, because it's almost like a Batman thing, where it's like, who looks good with just the chin exposed? And
yeah,
I mean, his screen time is fairly minimal as Peter Weller.
That's true. We gotta touch on the Oreo piece real quick. Apparently, someone was eating Oreos on set, and he wanted some Oreos.
The armorer, I believe it was, the guy who gives him the guns.
Yeah, and he was saying Robo wants an Oreo because he would talk about himself in third person. And the guy, the armorer, basically took the whole sleeve of Oreos, jammed them in his mouth, and says, "I don't have any Oreos," as he was dropping crumbs down onto Peter Weller. And apparently Peter Weller was yelling like, "Robo wants an Oreo." And someone asked him about that recently. And when they asked him, he's like, "I don't know what he's talking about." But it's such a crazy story that you have to believe it's real, It's so elaborate.
It all goes back to the fact that this guy is playing a robot with maybe 15 lines after he becomes a robot and wanted to be in character the whole time, which is hilarious.
That's crazy. Yeah, you're right. He doesn't really speak a lot.
No.
And you can put all his lines on one piece of paper.
So Peter Weller, a little bit off the beaten path. He's great in this, though. I mean, this is career defining for sure. Let's talk Paul Verhoeven real quick, and then we'll hit on kind of like our supporting cast, which is a little bit. There's like an ensemble Rogues Gallery style group for the supporting cast, but Paul Verhoeven, Dutch guy, very provocative director, I would say. He does a bunch of movies before. He has a career that spans from 1971 until now, really. I have never heard of any of the movies that he did until 1987, which is this movie, RoboCop. His first American film was in 1985. But he rips off RoboCop, Total Recall, Basic Instinct, Showgirls, and Starship Troopers in a row. 10-year stretch, which is like Hall of Fame numbers.
Yeah.
That's an incredible lineup. All those movies are. Showgirls is good because it's so horrible.
I was about to ask that. Like, what's your take on that
terrible
movie?
I mean, it's dog shit, but it's great because of that. But the other ones are like bangers. Total Recall, Basic Instinct, back to back are like that's like 2 MVPs in a row.
I mean,
Hollow Man's pretty good. It's
Kevin Bacon.
It's got some problems, but it's pretty good.
I'm a big fan of Starship Troopers.
Great movie.
Yeah,
awesome movie. And that one kind of has a little bit of a following behind it with people that just love all of the backstory with it. And it spawned off comic books and so
it's
much
based on a book.
Yeah, but it continues to spawn off games and
I think it's got like 3 sequels.
I think it has more than that.
Yeah.
And but they all like, why were they not as good as the first one? What happened?
Verhoeven wasn't directing, bro. Exactly, Chris. That's exactly it. No Verhoeven. He's good. He's good. And I think he's like a technically kind of a good director. He has stuff in this movie specifically that I think is well done. His action scenes are good. RoboCop kind of rips some stuff off. We got to be honest here. There's a lot of Terminator 1 feel to like the POV stuff where it's like the RoboCop view with like the targeting systems and stuff. Terminator 1 was like 3 years before this. Does feel like he watched it and was like, I like Terminator. But like he can do some explosions, a lot of gunfire, like the gas station scene, which spoiler alert is my hard scene.
Oh, dude,
so awesome. Hard. He's great, man. I think he's really good. I think he leans into provocation and controversy. I mean, his most recent movie is 2021's Benedetta, which I have not yet seen. I will see.
What's it about, Joe?
It's about lesbian nuns. I think it got NC-17 rating, and he had to cut it down, which happened to like 3 of these movies that he's done.
Like, what gets NC-17 at this point in time?
Right. I don't know.
That's a good question.
But I mean, Showgirls got an NC-17 rating. He had to cut that massively. And you mentioned RoboCop, I think, got an X, or I think it was NC-X at the time, maybe.
Yeah, it was X.
X for violence. So like this guy, he doesn't mind going for it. And I mean, he does. He's great. I think he's a really talented director. And he's also a guy who's like, I know what I'm doing. I know what movies, what like style film I want to make. I'm not Scorsese, I'm not Francis Ford Coppola. I'm making like blockbustery, mainstream stuff, schlock, a lot of violence, a lot of sex. I don't have a problem with that. If you do, tough.
Hey, you know that there was originally supposed to be a love interest in this movie?
Yes, go on.
Between RoboCop and his police officer friend. I think her last name, or she goes by Lewis. Is that right?
His partner, yeah.
Yeah, his partner. And originally they wrote in a love scene between them, and I was like, what? Like, how does that even? And
RoboCop's
apparently they
not
took it out because it just like took away too much from the movie.
He has no body.
It begged the question. It made me. I feel like I'm the dude from Mallrats now, where I'm like obsessed with like RoboCop and his anatomy. I'm like, how does RoboCop have sex? Does RoboCop need to pee? Like,
I mean,
he's eating food.
He eats that paste. He just like recharges, basically. I will say, I don't know. Did you guys see the remake, the 2014 RoboCop?
I saw it, but I don't remember it.
It's not worth remembering, Weaver. It's bad.
Yeah.
it's Joel Kinnaman, who can be good at times.
I like Joel.
I do too, generally. This is a bad movie. One thing that they do in it that I distinctly recall, that this is literally the only thing I remember from it, that was actually kind of cool, is when they are putting him back together as the RoboCop, they literally have like his head, his throat, and like part of his heart on like a board. And they're like fusing the stuff around him. So it does, to your point, Greg, that movie was like, what if we did show like what's remaining of RoboCop? And they show a little bit of it to be like, oh, he's got like 8% of human being there. And then the rest is all killing machine or arresting machine. So I don't know. Not worth seeing, but I bet you could Google that like still frame and take a look.
Yeah.
Oh boy. The writer of this, Edward, how do I say his last name, Joe?
Give it a try. Give it a
Yeah,
try.
try it, Greg. We had Mark do math.
Newmeyer.
Edward Newmeyer.
Newmeyer.
Yeah, pretty good.
So here's what's interesting. So he wrote RoboCop. He wrote Starship Troopers. And then he also wrote Starship Troopers, Anaconda's The Hunt for the Blood Orchid, total B movie. And then
that's not the J-Lo Anaconda, right?
No, I do not believe that's the same one.
Then we're not going to talk about it. We're only going to talk about the J-Lo version.
This has got a whole bunch of other like B-level actors in it. And then he did write RoboCop the reboot, the 2014 movie.
Yeah.
So he wrote the first one and he wrote the newest one, but without Paul, it's just not as good.
Dude, he also wrote 4 Starship Trooper direct-to-video sequels.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's like all this guy does is RoboCop stuff and Starship Trooper stuff.
So let's see. It's Starship Troopers 2, Hero of the Federation, Starship Troopers 3, Marauder, Starship Troopers Invasion, Starship Troopers Traitor of Mars.
I mean, that was in 2017. He's probably cooking up a new one.
We got RoboCop Returns coming up.
See, there you go.
In development. Right, that's what he's working on. RoboCop Returns.
Yeah, Neil Blomkamp, who's good. But
okay, I'm interested.
He's good.
Neil doesn't.
What else has he done?
District 9.
Yeah, this is his biggest. Chappie.
I didn't care for that.
Oh, I like District 9.
Yeah,
that's the one where they're eating the cat food, right?
Yeah.
District 9's awesome.
Elysium.
Yeah,
Elysium has some cool stuff in it. It's not great.
His special effects is fucking really good.
The fight scenes in Elysium and like the mech suits are cool. He does some cool stuff.
Yeah.
Matt Damon.
Mech suits. What? Remember that movie Mech Warrior?
Didn't see it.
Mech Warrior.
Yeah.
You talking about? You think about Robot Jocks?
No. That's a different movie.
We said that straight face too, complete straight face.
Have you guys seen Robot Jocks? Have you done Robot Jocks?
I missed.
No, we have not.
Robot
Is that
Jocks.
the Robert Downey Jr. one?
Robot Jocks? Oh shit, dude! Y'all need to watch fucking Robot Jocks. Well, I used to watch it a lot, like as a child. But Robot Jocks was the shit.
Yes, I think that is the movie I'm thinking about.
It's where Russia and the United States, like, no one has wars anymore. They just have
the robots.
Battles.
They send them to like a desert to fight, right?
Yeah, that's Robot Jocks.
And that's J-O-X, Jocks.
Oh, of course.
Wait, Joe, have you never seen this movie? Have you ever heard of this?
No, great concept though.
I think that it was.
Who's in it?
Oh shit! No, it's Super B.
1989.
Yeah, but for some reason, I think it was always. I think it falls in line with RoboCop, where it was like always on TV, like USA,
Yeah,
and that's probably why I saw it all the time.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, that's spawned some many video games over the years as well. It's basically like Mech Warriors,
Yeah.
Gary
well,
Graham,
speaking of robots,
Oslo.
All these movies that we talked about mainly are like special effects driven. And by special effects, I mean like more CGI. This movie is not. This is like practical effects.
All right. If there's one thing about Prime Cut podcasts, it's that we love practical effects.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even if you can
computer
tell
stuff out of here.
Right. Even if you can tell that they're practical, it just makes it so much more impressive that like that's a suit that they built. Rob Bottin built that suit and Peter Weller wore it to where I read in some of the trivia that when he was doing scenes in the car, the Ford Taurus police car, which we're going to hopefully talk about more, matte black spray paint, like primer black.
Yes.
He would not wear pants. He just wore his underwear because it was so hot. they had to like put a little AC unit in it at one point.
Yeah, it was like a latex suit.
Yeah.
Well, it was Texas in the summer when they shot this
thing.
So that's
so this movie was filmed, majority of it in Dallas. And what's cool is that whenever I live in Dallas, and so whenever I look around some of the cityscape, I can see buildings that are still around Dallas. I'm like, oh, I live right down the street from that.
Yeah. Also, go on.
The mayor's office is the Dallas police station downtown, which is right across from the JFK Memorial Museum where Lee Harvey Oswald was positioned up. If you're Lee Harvey was able to see RoboCop's building. That's what I'm saying.
Little did he know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
33 years later.
Yes.
Okay, let's hit. Oh, go ahead.
Wait. We got to talk about one more person. I mean, there's a couple of character actors in here, but we got the other main actor that I want to bring up is Kurtwood Smith. Most people know him as Red from that 70s show.
Yeah. He's like the second. He's kind of like the main bad guy, not the big bad, but he's like the main adversary. He steals this movie for me on this rewatch.
Yes. He's awesome in this.
He's so good.
And Paul uses him in multiple of his movies.
Yeah.
I mean, he was in Total Recall. He was in Starship Troopers. I mean,
he was in Total Recall. Who was he in Total Recall? It's been so long since I've seen Total Recall.
Yeah, he's one of the. He's like one of the.
One of the
the people on the planet Mars.
Yeah.
He's great.
Rambo 3.
Rambo.
Yes,
Rambo 3.
Yeah, I don't know what his role was in Rambo 3, but I don't remember what Rambo 3 was about.
That's Afghanistan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Under Siege 2.
Dark Territory.
Siege moment.
Nice, yeah. This movie gives him like that lane as he's always been a character actor, but this movie is like, hey man, you can be a bad guy and shoot some guns because he's like insane in this.
Dude, he's so believable. I'd only seen him as that 70s show. Like I grew up kind of watching him play that older, grumpy man and seeing him utilize and like be like flexible. He's funny.
He's hilarious.
Charismatic.
Yeah.
Like the way he delivers lines is like really just like he like is like staring the other actors like straight in the face. It's super believable.
Dude, the scene when he walks into the OCP office and he takes his gum out and he sticks it on the secretary's like name placard and he's like, you can keep the gum. It's great stuff. He's such a prick.
Good.
He's really good.
Man.
Did you guys read about the whole like scenario about how he got the role?
No, tell me.
So Paul Verhoeven is Dutch, and that's fairly close to the Holocaust, and he grew up around that time, just a little bit after the Second World War. So Kurtwood Smith originally wants to play Dick Jones, which is the Ronnie Cox character, like the head of OCP. He auditions for that, thinks that he's contacted, like, you got the role. He thinks he gets that role. He shows up and they're like, hey, actually you're going to be Clarence Boddicker. And he's like, oh, okay. It turns out that Verhoeven liked the fact that he had these glasses that looked like Heinrich Himmler, which is like a very prominent Nazi who was engineering the Holocaust. So he was like, as a Dutch person, he's like, I identified him as this evil person right away because of his appearance with these little wire rim glasses. He's Boddicker. He's not going to be Dick Jones. And he was like, okay, I'll do it. It's more fun. And he does have, I mean, this is like, he's having the most fun in this movie for sure.
Great role for him.
He shoots that guy's new car. That's hilarious. He's like, hey,
SUX.
Yeah, he's got a car just like yours. He blows it up. Amazing. Great stuff.
Yeah, he's awesome. And then we have like a handful of character actors in this movie.
Great bad guys.
Yeah, his whole team is really good. The guy who plays Emil, I've never seen him in anything else that I can recall, but he's like such a rat bastard looking dude.
He kind of looks like Flea from the Red Hot Chili
He kind of
Peppers.
does with like bad sideburns.
Yes.
I think we got to talk about Nancy Allen for 1 second, only because she was married to Brian De Palma for a long time. Brian De Palma, Greg, you know who that is, right?
Yes. She's basically our only female in this movie.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like a couple other women police officers in the changing room which Paul Verhoeven loves a co-ed changing room. He does it again in Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, they're just like changing all guys and girls all naked in it.
It's like a thing that he must like think is really great because he puts it in multiple films. She's okay in this movie. She doesn't have a lot going on. I did find it funny that she did not recognize Murphy at all. It's always something in these movies, like any superhero movie, where it's like the cowl covers the face.
The glasses.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, glasses for Clark Kent. How do you not notice who this person is? She's like, Murphy? Like, it takes her most of the movie to realize that it's Murphy. Like, come on. You can look at his face and be like, that's my partner. She can't do it.
Dude, she was in RoboCop 2 and RoboCop 3.
Was she? Wow.
I believe that. She's in this movie called Blowout. It's a Brian De Palma movie from 1981. It's amazing. She has a very specific role, but she's like incredible in it. And I don't know that I think she was in that phase of Hollywood where it's like, you're the wife or the girlfriend, and then you're kind of not anything for a while. So it is cool that she's like a police officer in this movie, but I could see that there's like not a lot of roles for her after a while. And she's pretty good.
Was in Carrie. Was she in Carrie?
Yeah, she's in Carrie.
Yeah. Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. She definitely has like a bigger filmography when she's younger.
Yeah.
We run into this problem with, I think, a lot of movies from this time period and earlier where we don't get a lot of female actors.
No.
Not
in main roles.
Not in main roles. And we don't get a lot of character development from a lot of them.
Yeah, that's why like Ripley in the Alien films is such like a landmark character. Not only is Sigourney Weaver awesome, but like she's like the star, the main character, has like an arc. She's very capable. It's great. And Nancy Allen's kind of capable in this movie, honestly. Like she's pretty good. She beats the shit out of that guy in the lobby early on, who's like throwing the cops around. She takes him out. Pretty cool.
I do have to bring something up about Nancy, and I only bring this up because I watched I watched it last week with my wife, and she'd really never seen it. And do you guys remember the warehouse scene with Nancy?
You mean where Robo's getting shot?
Yeah, right. Before he gets murdered.
Yes.
Right.
When she's like trying to arrest that dude.
She's trying to arrest the dude. She's got him dead to rights.
Yeah.
And
he's like peeing first.
He's peeing and he turns around and she looks down and she gets fuck it. And my wife absolutely fucking lost it. She's like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And I wish
she was
they
mad.
Would have she wasn't mad. She was just like, "Really?"
Yeah.
That's why she got distracted. And it's like, oh my God. And I was hoping they would address that in documentary, but they didn't. But I mean, to me, I just thought that, I don't know, they should have done something else. I just thought that was so, I guess, I don't know. It didn't age well.
It's not in very good taste for sure. And it is like, I think that Weaver, I think you're right. I think it speaks to Greg's point of like, we can't just have her be like competent.
No, it's like
they had to be like, oh, she was distracted by this guy whipping his dick out.
Yeah. I thought that was if honestly, that's probably my only gripe because it diminishes her. It's like, it takes her character and it just kind of, it's like, no, she shouldn't have gone out like that. There should have been another way. My wife was just like this. She's like,
she got taken out by a big dick.
Yes, it's just like
stupid, very stupid.
It's dumb, and but yeah, that was I'm surprised, and she didn't mention anything in the documentary, but whatever. I just thought it was unfortunate.
It is unfortunate. I think that's a good call out. That's a good note. The other two guys we got to talk about Miguel Ferrer real quick.
Yeah,
he's the like upstart OCP. So OCP is the private company that's kind of like taken over the Detroit Police Department. He's like the young gun executive who, after they do the demonstration that goes horribly wrong, he like cuts in and is like, "Hey, I've got my own program." He's the kind of the godfather of the RoboCop program.
He says RoboCop, doesn't he?
I think he's the only one who does.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He has hair in this movie. It's like he's like starting to go bald in the front. And he's kind of got like an 80s bouffant going. But I know him as a balding guy. And the movie, I don't know about you, Greg. I know him from a very specific role. I don't know if you...
Yes, same.
Well, there's two.
Okay.
What's the one that you're going to tell? I know the one you're going to say.
What am I going to say?
You're going to say Hot Shots Part 2.
No.
Really?
But damn, I should have said that.
Yeah.
I forgot that he was in it.
Yeah, but he's bald.
Yeah, he's great in Hot Shots.
He's good. The other one that I'm thinking of, do you want me to say my second one?
Go for it.
Well, there's two more. There's three movies. Blank Check.
That's where I
remember
from.
Blank Check.
Blank Check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's really like very good in Traffic. He's the remember he's the witness in Traffic that Don Cheadle is protecting the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
He's kind of got like
Traffic in forever.
Yeah, he's got like the fringe balding hair. But this is one of the first movies I think that he really ever did. They say that this is his breakthrough performance. Bob Morton has a hilarious line when he's like, I think that one of the funnier lines in the movie is when he's kind of like already proven himself as like a capable guy in OCP, and some other guy was like, "Oh, Morton, great work. Hey, we're going out for drinks tonight. Can you come by?" He's like, "Can't. Got two models coming over."
So corny.
So
corny.
So great. Oh
Yeah.
man.
God. But I think that's like the gist of the extra actors. We have like a handful of people that were never A-listers.
Yeah.
But I mean, hell, would you even consider Peter Weller an A-lister?
Not really.
No.
Yeah.
He's an A-lister for like 6 months when this movie's out, and that's it.
But all of them have so much work like under their belt.
Mhm.
Like even just Ferrer has 130 credits.
That's crazy.
So hold on a second. We got to say this about Miguel, which I did not know until I'm reading his Wikipedia right now. He's the oldest of 5 children born to Puerto Rican actor Jose Ferrer, who I do not know, but American singer Rosemary Clooney, who I do know. Have you guys ever seen White Christmas?
Mm-mm.
Okay, White Christmas is an old Bing Crosby Christmas movie. It's pretty good. My family like grew up on it. My mom and sister still watch it every year. There are these two sisters that are like lounge singers. One of them is Rosemary Clooney, who is actually George Clooney's aunt. So this guy is like second cousins to George Clooney.
Yeah.
They're all plugged in.
Yeah, plugged in, exactly. Hollywood family. Anyway, I think that probably does it for our cast. But you're right, Mark. There's like, these people are working all the time. Everyone's really well cast. The crew, Bodeker's crew is great. They're all scumbags, like low life scumbags. And I also like the sergeant a lot. The police sergeant. He's good. I've seen him in other stuff. I don't know what.
I feel like he should always play a police sergeant.
I think he does. I have seen that dude in other things. Now I want to look him up. He's really good.
What's the guy that's the henchman that we always talk about?
Al Leong?
Al Leong? Yeah.
He
Al Leong is the henchman. What this dude should be to police sergeants.
That's the guy from Bloodsport.
That's Bolo Young. Al Leong is the guy from Die Hard with the long hair, balding skullet, and the big handlebar. Small guy.
Yeah, okay.
He's also in Big Trouble in Little China.
Are they related? No.
No, I don't think so. Hold on. What is this guy?
I know you're talking about now, yeah.
The sergeant, 130 credits. Like
See, there you go.
Dude was working.
And it's like a ton of like ER, LA Law.
TV shows.
Yeah.
NYPD Blue.
Oh, I know where
he plays a police officer of some sort in a bunch of things.
I know him from Star Trek. Anyway.
All right. Shall we jump into the movie?
Yeah. I mean, there's not a ton to talk about plot wise. There's mainly like great scenes.
Whoa.
I mean, you
There's
can tell
a
me
lot to say.
You can say the plot in fucking 2 minutes.
All right. So here's the plot of the movie, and maybe I should have said this at the very beginning. Plot of the movie is this: we have a police officer that gets basically shot to death, and
tortured.
We have tortured. They have fun killing him, and he basically gets turned into a cybernetic robot police officer that's going to patrol the streets 24/7, and this is supposed to be the future.
Yeah, and the backdrop.
Corruption.
Yeah, tons of corruption. Yeah. The backdrop is like, this is set in Detroit. They don't tell you really when it is, but it does feel futuristic on some level. And it's kind of like a dystopian hellscape of extremely violent Detroit city. And this company has come in to kind of supplement or in the company's eyes, take over policing, both from like a equipment standpoint and from a personnel standpoint, take over that avenue of city work for the city of Detroit. And I think we got to say, like, not only is it that angle, but like it definitely this movie seems to want you to see humanity as like being desensitized to a lot of things. I think all of those news cut-ins
right out the gate.
Yeah, they're like right away talking about like, nuclear holocaust and there's all this violence and it seems to be so matter of fact that like, oh, this is just life now. He's definitely telling you like we are far too into stylized violence and crime is just accepted.
This feels very much like Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
When you get like, do you remember in Starship Troopers when you get the commercial?
Yeah. Verhoeven does this.
Yeah. He enjoys that.
He wants this social commentary.
Well, at the beginning of this movie, it starts out with like the future news. And I have to point this out. The guy that is trying to sell heart transplants.
Exactly, dude.
He's talking about a Yamaha heart.
But it's just like think about like the healthcare industry where it's like healthcare is a business.
It's a business. Yeah.
And that's what I think Verhoeven is like talking about there. He's talking about the military industrial complex. He's talking about privatization of prison and law enforcement. Like that is all the backdrop to this. And he is not afraid to be very upfront with it, but he provides it in such a way that it's an entertaining package.
Agreed. So we kind of get that set up as the backdrop for this movie. And then we get the guys and girls changing room. And then
big plot point.
Yeah, just this needs to be said. It's a plot point. It needs to happen.
First of all, second to that, why do the police? Why are they in hockey gear? Did you guys pick up on this? Like the helmets are like hockey helmets, and they're wearing like they look like umpires. The umpire protective gear. I guess that's like what they think in the future, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I love how 1987, they're saying, what will the future look like? Let's make it, this is kind of like Back to the Future Part 2.
Yeah.
When they were like, what would the future look like? And they're like trying to add some more techie stuff.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the cops are wearing the umpire outfits.
Yeah.
We find out that Murphy, which is RoboCop, gets transferred to this new precinct. And he gets to meet his new partner, Lewis. And she's like in the police station. Like she's already arrested this guy. Like he's in the police station and now he's fighting. And she has to throw like a high roundhouse kick to his back to knock him over.
It's a good kick.
It was a good kick. Mm-hmm. It was hilarious that guy was handcuffed and just like wrecking shop in like the police lobby. Like they couldn't take this guy on at all.
Like you're caught, bro. There's no point to fight. Yeah. What are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah. Go on, Greg. You're running down the plot pretty quickly.
Yeah. So we find out that that's Murphy's new partner, and also we find out that like we flash to a scene where like there's some suits talking about OCP and how they're about to have like a new model. Am I the only one that thought this? OCP spells cop. Like it's just.
I did not think that.
COP.
I'm actually looking for what OCP stood for because I don't.
Omni Consumer Products.
Oh, there you go. That's pretty good. It's such like a nameless. It's like Cyberdyne Systems.
Yeah, it's a good
name. That's good.
So we get these suits, basically talking about that. There's like a new thing that they're about to like reveal or whatever. So they go upstairs. And they start talking about a cop that works 24/7, and they reveal Ed 209.
I feel like you love Ed.
Love Ed 209.
Because I think Ed sucks.
What?
Oh, dude, I had the toy, bro.
He's trash,
Ed 209.
Why do you hate Ed?
He couldn't go downstairs, dude.
Whoa. Hold your horses, man.
That's pretty embarrassing.
Right, Mark?
Hey,
yeah, that's embarrassing.
I'm pretty sure that in one of the sequels, Ed 209 makes a comeback and he flies.
I know RoboCop flies in part 3, I think it is. But
yeah, we were trying to figure that out before.
Yeah, I knew that one of them was flying. If you want to make a sequel that's good, you need to do one of two things. Either one, add an S to the end of the name, or two, make the main character fly. Do that to any movie.
I mean, you can't. RoboCops would work, but they decided to go with the flying thing.
Think about it. Like, imagine if you had Rambos or Rambo that had like a jetpack. I'm in.
Jetpack Rambo's pretty sick.
Jetpack Rambo with a exploding bow and arrow.
I love Rambo on any level, but Jetpack.
Listen, and for Mark over here, who might be second guessing me, what did they do with the cars in the last Fast and the Furious?
I can't. How did this come up, guys?
No spoilers, please. I haven't seen 10 or 11, whatever it's called.
You're not missing a lot. You're
missing a lot of story, a lot of family, a lot of growing.
I'm just saying that if you can make the main characters fly or add an S, we're Gucci. All right, back to Ed 209. I love this thing. Why do you dislike him?
Look, I thought that the effects to get Ed for the time, the way that they film Ed moving, and then it's obvious that
it's like stop motion, right?
I think it's a miniature.
Yep.
Yes,
and then they basically splice that into the live action version of the film, which is, I thought that's really well done for the time. It looks good. You can tell what they're doing, but it looks good considering this movie is like 40 years old.
They
the
built
same guy. Oh,
go ahead. Sorry. No, go for it, bro.
Oh, you go for it, bro.
Okay. Oh, I was just gonna say, they built for the boardroom scene. They built a life size or a gigantic Ed 209. So there are some scenes where it's like, they had to come in and put the whole motherfucker together.
He's 15 feet tall.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was huge. It's pretty cool.
It's a good scene. He sucks, though. I mean, let's be honest. He sucks.
Whoa.
Why does he suck?
He's just incapable. First of all, the only thing he's supposed to do is arrest this guy. The guy throws down the gun and he murders him.
Hold on. Let's set the stage here. So they're going to do a little demonstration with Ed 209, my boy, and they basically put a gun in this guy's hand. They say, all right, point the gun towards Ed 209. Ed 209, like in a real dramatic voice, takes over the situation and says, drop your weapon. You have 30 seconds to comply. And the guy, everyone freaks out and the dude drops his gun. And then this is my favorite part. Ed 209 goes, you have 20 seconds to comply after he's already dropped the gun.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is so good. And I think really what this is saying, Joe, is that there was a much deeper story here that we didn't get.
I know what it is.
That guy was probably really corrupt, and Ed saw through it.
Really? Because the entire board, what I think it was trying to tell you is that all these executives are fucking pieces of shit because they're throwing the guy off him because they know that he's about to get waxed.
Yeah, it's like doing a countdown. Everyone's like, get the fuck away from me.
Right. He gets smoked,
I
of
love
course.
the fucking, the old man, after Homeboy gets smoked, he's just like, Dick, I'm very disappointed.
yeah. They never mention oh my God, Mike is dead. They don't even care.
No, they don't give a fuck.
No.
Well, so he basically, spoiler, Ed 209 gets to the end of the countdown and absolutely obliterates this guy. Not with one bullet, not two or three. I'm talking he's got Gatling guns for arms and he unloads. And this is the point where you're watching this and you're like, oh my God, this movie is different.
Yeah. And this is the first real squib action we get, which this movie is chock full of squib stuff, which is the little charge back in the day before they basically ADR, not ADR, but CGI'd all of this. Squibs were a little charge with a bag of fake blood that would be implanted under the actor's clothes that was going to get shot. And it would, when they would get shot, there would be a charge that was set off and it would explode the bag, rip through the clothes, blow the blood everywhere. And this movie has literally every single kill in this movie is an epic squib scenario.
Okay. I got a question for producer Mark here. This is his first time seeing the movie and he didn't know what to expect. And so I just want to know, what was your response or what was your take when you first saw that happen?
I thought it was funny. I think it builds on top of the whole, this is a B movie. It doesn't really take itself serious. It was purely for comedic effect. It's even funnier is that scene was actually longer in the X-rated cut. You can, I think they extended it at least 15 seconds. Where the guy, it's just a shot of the guy getting blasted for 15 more seconds, just pumped.
Just excessively.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would have loved to see that, but I think it really sets the tone because that's early. It happened super early.
Well, this is where they're okay, probably can't have, this terrible machine policing our streets. So
I'm
that's when. Well, go ahead, Greg. If you want to defend Ed more, I'm sure.
No. I'm just curious if when this movie came out, if the version that you purchased came with the extended scenes like that. And the reason I ask is one of our listeners up in Washington, Eric, he found out that we were going to do RoboCop, and he sent me a picture that he had the laser disc of this movie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so he sent me. I'll post up the pictures of the inside of the laser disc because it's cool, man. It's like a record. And for those that are unaware, laser disc were basically, I think it was somewhere between VHS and DVD.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And it was basically like it's like a record the size of a CD. Or I'm sorry, a CD the size of a record. It's just like a massive CD. It's crazy.
I want to say it's like, though they came out before DVDs, it's like basically it's an uncompressed DVD. So it's a little bit better than DVDs, and it's a little shittier than Blu-ray. It's like in between.
Yeah.
So, but they look cool.
The problem is, I think a Laserdisc player at the time, even then, cost like $2,000. So it wasn't a huge market boom because people were like, "Well, I can't afford this."
Yeah. Anyways, all right. So moving the movie forward, our main CEO, the one that was very disappointed, he yells at our dude, and he says this setback's going to cost him $50 million.
Well, yeah, because this was there's part of this that I was not confused about, but it isn't fleshed out. They're basically talking about like building a new version of Detroit because they call part of the city Old Detroit, and they're building this Delta Detroit, which sounds like Omnicorp is building it and also going to enforce the law there. So they're like, we need to get started on this because we need to clear out all the crime so we can start building this new version of Detroit. And that's what, to your point, Greg, that's where the guy was like, the interest payments are going to be massive because we're going to be, there's a huge setback because we can't have Ed killing people. And this is where Morton like cuts in. He's like, I've got this RoboCop program. I've got this new program. We've worked up this whole thing where it's going to be a 24/7, cyborg basically, who's going to be policing the streets. And then he's basically given the green light right on the spot. He's like, I'll expect a presentation in 20 minutes. He gets the green light, and his underlings are like, what are we going to do? He's like, let's wait for someone to volunteer. And that's where we get the Murphy like intersection with the program.
Right. So we get basically a new scene where we get to meet our number 2 baddie, which is basically Clarence. What's his last name?
Boddicker.
Yeah, Boddicker.
Incredible.
He's basically in like a getaway situation, and Murphy and Lewis are chasing after them. And the scene is just so ridiculous. Like they're all in the truck, and they're about to like unleash and shoot the cops that are chasing them. And these are the cop cars that, by the way, that Joe, you mentioned that I guess in the future cop cars are just rattle canned flat black.
Ford Tauruses too, dude.
Ford Tauruses. Yeah. That was very strange.
They ain't catching shit.
Those things are not fast. That's all I'm going to say.
No.
Okay, so there's this funny scene here where, I mean, the dialogue is so ridiculous. He takes his own dude and he says, "Can you fly, Bobby?" And then the black dude's got an evil laugh as he throws him out the car onto the cop car.
But he's pissed off because the guy, when they apparently have just come from a bank robbery, and the money is like burned, and he like freaks out. That's a great freak out scene. He's all burned. It might as well be marked. Like he's freaking out, and so that's the guy.
Fucking driver.
Yeah. That's the guy who like rigged the safe to blow incorrectly, and so he's the sacrificial lamb. They throw him onto the windshield of the car, which is good stuff.
Also, did y'all notice Weller's like akimbo pistol?
Oh yes, I'm glad you brought that up.
He's not hitting anything.
No, it's bad. That's not good.
And he's just dumping it. You would never do that. No. You know what I mean? No. Ever.
I feel like there's an unwritten rule that only bad guys are allowed to go akimbo.
Not since John Woo movie.
Yeah, not since John Woo, bro.
Or bad guys or anti-heroes.
All right.
Okay. Well, yeah. Let's table that.
I don't think that Murphy should have been going. Like, what cop has 2 guns?
Well, he
like
asked
that
for
ready?
her sidearm.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, he
And
remember
how-
he what was that? The fucking TJ Laser, right? He was
Yes.
always doing the fucking.
Oh,
thing,
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
maybe, you know,
TJ
maybe
Laser.
it's,
I do.
is that a real show?
I don't think so.
No, I do
Okay.
like that they have. There's a son, a wife. What Murphy has a wife and son that we only see in flashbacks, and they have almost no lines, and there's no like connection at all, which I think is hilarious. So they're there, but we don't need to go into it.
No backstory
No.
needed there.
Nope.
Let's not waste our time. We're here for Robo. So, anyways, yeah, he goes to Kimbo's. The bad guys get away, and they make their way to a warehouse where Murphy and Lewis show up. And they really Scooby-Doo this shit because Murphy's like, should we wait for backup? And Lewis is like, let's go. They go in, and they go, let's split up and find them faster.
Never good.
Like, what? So they split up, and then we get the scene where Lewis gets knocked out because she's checking out a dude's dong.
Not great.
And then Murphy, I don't know what he was thinking. He like corners 2 dudes. He shoots one, and then more of them show up because he shot his gun, obviously. And so he's outnumbered. He gets disarmed. And this is where we get like the torture scene where they kind of mess him up.
Yeah. So 2 things about this scene. The first is this was the scene that they showed to test audiences and they hated it because it was so. This was like where the X came from what I read.
Worse, yeah.
Yeah, it was way worse, and that
than
people
what
were
we
like,
saw.
"This is horrible. I don't like this." So that they had to trim that scene because it was really violent. And also, when they trimmed it, they realized Verhoeven was like, "Hey, this is gonna be an expensive scene." So he didn't show executives that scene. They didn't film it until after he had shown executives a bunch of footage from the movie, so that they were like, "We like this movie," and he was like, "Great." This one scene I gotta shoot is going to be a lot more expensive. I'm glad you like it. Now I need you to pay for this scene. So like that's like a super pivotal scene, not only for the movie but like how the movie is made.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Basically, they shoot him, but they don't shoot him once or twice or 3 times or 10 times. Like, man, they unload on him. They blow his hand off to start
Yeah,
off.
rough.
This is this scene, and have you guys read the interviews with Verhoeven when he talks about this?
Some of it, yeah.
He basically, the reason he says his main reason for doing RoboCop because he wanted to make American Jesus, and for him, this is the crucifixion scene.
Yep.
And he said he wanted to make it as violent as possible. He wanted to just fucking absolutely torture him to follow this American Jesus theme for RoboCop, and he delivered.
No
The
kidding.
resurrection.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
do you think that it would sit well if I wore a shirt with RoboCop cruise? Never mind.
I mean, that's kind of maybe.
Some people would get it.
Yeah.
Like that's like a deep cut for real, right there.
People would get it.
Some people would, but for the most part, they'd be all, this guy's wearing a robot on the cross shirt.
Right.
All right. So, moving forward, like we get like, this final shot where, Clarence basically puts one in his head. And in my opinion, like Murphy's dead,
Yeah.
like DEAD dead.
Mm-hmm.
And Lewis finally, they leave him and Lewis comes out and she's like, calls an ambulance. I'm like, what are you working on, people?
Well, we get an extended like paramedic scene and an extended hospital scene where they're like working to revive him. You know, they're giving him fluids, they're giving him an IV, they do the paddles on him. Nothing works. He's dead.
Yeah.
The X-rated version, they blew his face off.
There you go.
Yeah.
So
Got trimmed.
that would have been cool. That would have been tough to come back
With no face.
No face.
And now he's got a face again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So this whole scene that we end up getting here it's almost all first person, kind of like we were talking about Terminator 1 style, where we kind of see them all working on him, and we see them kind of like through like an elapsed time period, adding things, adjusting his sight. We see like party happens where he gets a kiss, and it's all from first person point of view at this point, which leads up to the unveiling where they pull the plastic wrap off of RoboCop and they basically take him to the police station.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And the police station, everyone's like freaking out. They're like, what is this?
Well, he's like 9 feet tall.
Yes.
Huge.
He's gigantic.
He's huge. And we kind of see like some of his directives where we say like, what are your directives? And they show like one, it's like to uphold the law, whatever. We see 3 directives, and then we see directive number 4. It says classified.
Yeah.
You don't see it, which I was like, oh, what is that? What is directive 4?
Yeah, it's like, what is it? Protect the innocent,
uphold the law,
uphold the law, stop crime, something. And then number 4.
Yeah. Then we get a cool scene with we got to talk about this. We got to talk about RoboCop's gun.
Okay.
So they're in the shooting range, and we've got all these police officers shooting. And all of a sudden we see, when you shoot a gun, you hold it with 2 hands.
Some do.
Oh, right. That's right. Typically, I think what Joe's alluding to is the Olympic shooter who's shooting with 1 hand.
Yeah.
So then we get RoboCop, who's not just, I mean, it's a big gun. And originally, I think they wanted to use a Desert Eagle, but even that appeared to be too small. So I did some research on this because this is kind of like the weapon, the iconic item from the movie. I would say it's like Luke's saber or something like that. Mm-hmm. And it's like a Beretta that they just attached all these things to. They made a bigger barrel. They added a huge sight. It had like a 50 round mag. It shoots in bursts of 3. The gun's ridiculous.
He never reloads. Never reloads.
That's right.
Yeah, I've never seen RoboCop reload the gun. No. I don't know
what through his hands. The bullets just
yeah. That's right.
It's just feeding right into the gun from there.
Yeah.
But the gun's ridiculous, and so they made it really oversized. And so I think there's a point in the movie where Lewis has to bring his gun to him, and when she's holding it, it just looks comically large,
it's huge,
which I thought was cool. It was a nice touch to show her holding it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he also gets a car. They throw him the keys. Did you read about this scene?
Yeah.
Go hilarious. Well, apparently the RoboCop gloves were rubber, so they were like, number 1, very bouncy, and number 2, Weller couldn't really feel in them. So there's a scene where he's like, I need a car, and the sergeant throws him the keys, and he can't catch them. And apparently it took over 50 takes, an entire day of filming before they got it where he could actually catch the keys. It's nuts.
Wow.
Whole day.
That's rough. Okay, so that's probably like an excessive money spent to do that.
Yes.
Whereas today I could understand, like I would be okay just doing CGI
just
for that.
CG that, yeah.
Yeah, just see that's practical, but I don't need that.
Right. Well, and then after he gets a car, we just get scenes of him stopping crimes. This is great.
Okay, so I got to mention this: the score for this.
Yeah, it's good.
Fantastic.
Man, there's few movies that have a score that you're like, or like a soundtrack that you associate it with, where you hear the music and you instantly go, that, and you know the movie. So I think about Rambo, Eye of the Tiger, right?
Rambo, Eye of the Tiger. That's Rocky, bro.
Rocky.
Sorry, Rocky, Eye of the Tiger.
Don't start me. Don't fuck that up.
It's about to get hot.
I think about that. I think about Terminator, the drums.
That's Predator.
No. I'm thinking about the Terminator drums.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
When it builds up. Yes. But RoboCop is one of those movies.
Yeah.
That has that, and I can't think of many movies, modern movies that have that effect where they've got such a, you know what I mean?
Heroes. This is like hero's journey shit. Like I feel like you see it in Avengers or like any of like the Marvel movies.
Yeah, that's a good
shit
point.
Right now too.
The Avengers has that.
The Avengers does it a lot.
Nolan has some stuff. He has pretty like very notable scores. They're set differently.
Yeah.
Like, well, the background, those are great scores, but they don't have the same effect as like RoboCop's music. RoboCop's music is very unique, you know, and it gets you pumped. Like, I want to go lift some weights.
You don't lift weights.
Yeah, I do. I started eating creatine, Joe.
He's eating creatine.
I snack on it.
Mark and I gave Greg a note about creatine not too long ago. I can't tell from you sitting down. I'm not sure if it's working or not, Greg.
Listen, every single day, every morning, creatine. I'd like to find a creatine sponsorship for the podcast. If we have any people out there that would like to sponsor us, we are
only pure
that.
creatine, please. Pure creatine only.
Maybe if we post this to YouTube and TikTok, we'll get some sponsors.
All right. Looking for sponsors. I'll post it up. We'll see what happens. Okay. Anyways, back to the movie. Yes, we get like cool like shootout scenes. There's a few of these things that happen. We get this is kind of comical. This crook is like robbing a gas station. How about the gun he was using with the magazine sticking out the side?
Yeah.
Is that like an MP40? What was it?
Like, where did he get this?
On the
I mean, that's dystopian Detroit.
Old
bro.
Detroit.
Old Detroit's got World War II Nazi guns. Yeah, it looks like an MP40 from like World War II with the magazine sticking out the side. He's trying to rob this gas station. RoboCop comes in and he walks right up to the dude shooting him, grabs the barrel and just bends it down. It's great.
Look, let me ask you guys a question here. Let's say you have no experience with RoboCop. You don't know him, you never heard of him, whatever. But he's like a seemingly human style thing that is 10 feet tall and looks to be made of gleaming metal. Right? That's what he appears to be. Does anyone on this pod think that shooting him would work? Because I don't. And everybody shoots RoboCop in this movie all the time. And no one is like, this isn't working, guys. Until really the end.
I'm going to say it.
Okay.
Why does nobody shoot RoboCop in the mouth?
It's a hard place to shoot.
Tough.
You know.
So it's only like this much, bro.
Yeah.
We don't have a sniper in
hit
old
that from
Detroit.
40 yards?
Is it really that hard to hit that with a shotgun? I mean,
I'm with Greg here. I think it's a flaw.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. I'm walking up to RoboCop and I'm going to cold clock him just right in the jaw, knock him out.
You are not touching RoboCop.
I mean,
dude, I'm knocking RoboCop out.
You're not even
done.
getting your arm up there, dude.
Boom.
Dude, I'm going to.
It'd be like punching Shaq in the face, except Shaq's made of metal.
Yeah.
I don't think you're
I'd
doing
knock
it.
Shaq out.
I don't know,
I think there's a movie where Shaq is metal.
Yeah, steel.
Steel? Yeah.
Steel.
Weaver knows.
Yeah.
God.
Right.
I don't know how I should feel about that.
No, dude, the only way you're getting away from RoboCop is if you, I mean, luckily, like I was in a grocery store or like a little convenience store, grab some flour, open it, boom, sand.
You're talking about
Sand. Bah.
like pocket sand?
Pocket sand, but pocket flour, because obviously there's not.
You're
sand
talking about
in the convenience
antiquing RoboCop?
store. Boom. And then I'm running because he's not catching up to me. I'm
Pretty slow. That's a good point.
I'm Usain Bolt and I'm out.
Pretty slow. But everyone seems to think that just shooting him in like the torso and chest is good, and it's very clearly not going to work. Like I don't even think you need to try it to know that this isn't working, guys.
Fair,
just a note.
And Greg's not touching RoboCop. You're not even getting close.
It's not even
knocking RoboCop clean out.
Mark, you're not even sneaking around him.
Mark, you need to. This clip needs to be cut for socials. 5'8" Greg Greg's like 5'11". 5'11" Greg thinking he's punching 10-foot tall RoboCop in the face. Please.
Hey, listen. I tell people I'm 5'4", so
okay.
Tracking system on Greg thinks he's touching RoboCop.
He's probably catching your hand and smashing the bones in your hand before you even get it.
Bro, he grabs my hand. Nah, RoboCop doesn't have me. I have him.
Negative.
Negative is right.
Okay. So then we got to talk about this. Two things. One, he stops that robbery, and I love this line. It's so tongue in cheek where he goes, "Thank you for your cooperation and good night."
Yeah.
As he walks out.
So was he talking to the store
arrest
owners?
the dude?
He was talking to the store
he
owners.
he doesn't even arrest the dude. He just
leave him there.
He threw him into like a glass case.
Yeah, he did trash their store.
It's kind of like he's supposed to be our superhero, but he's like messing. Like, how am I supposed to make an insurance claim on this? Who's going to believe me that RoboCop did this?
Yeah, the money in the
superheroes do though.
That's true.
They fuck shit up.
The money in the safe is probably less than what the damage cost is going to be to that poor mom and pop shop.
The Miller Lite covering up the safe.
Interesting. Yeah.
Interesting. No, I mean, that was ad placement.
Oh, for sure.
For sure. Some good ad placement.
Yeah. Dude, we got we got Ford Taurus a lot too. I don't know. That was
right.
another one I noticed.
So then we get another scene, and this is the one we call scene 27, where two guys are basically attacking a girl, and they're like cutting off her hair, and one of them's like trying to like go under her dress when RoboCop like pulls up, and RoboCop pulls out his gun, and the guy's like holding the girl hostage in front of him, and he says, "Your move, creep."
It's good.
It's good.
Your move,
Can we
creep's
talk about? So he has a targeting system, RoboCop. So when he's looking around, he's like looking for the threat. Did he see the guy's boner? Did he see the cock as a threat?
I think
because he shoots the cock.
He's looking for a soft target.
Yeah, I think he was tracking the area that he figured was correct. I don't know.
Hey, so
I mean, a foot.
So
an arm?
he shoots through the girl's dress, like between her legs, and the bullet like hits the dude's his dick, like behind him, and
It's a great shot.
Yeah, originally this scene that's not how this was supposed to play out. Originally, he was supposed to just shoot the guy.
Verhoeven had some second thoughts, huh?
I believe that I want to say that it was Weller's idea to shoot between the dress, which was like
it's over the top.
It's very over the top, and that's the one that someone did a remake of it, and they basically chopped in like a ton of dudes coming out of the woodworks to attack RoboCop, and he's just shooting everybody right there.
They all have their dicks out.
Like, yeah, they're all like they're jumping over fences,
running, and they do close-ups, and you see all these little prosthetic fucking dicks just getting blown up.
It's ridiculous.
It's shot really well for a parody. It looks really good.
Yeah, it's a really good parody. Scene 27 is what that one's called. All right, so then we get the final one where Robo shows up to a hostage scene with the mayor. And the guy that's holding everybody captive, his lines are so good in this.
Yeah.
They're like asking him what he wants, and like he's screaming like, I want fresh coffee.
I want my job back.
I want my job back. I want a recount.
I want a recount.
Dude, he says, when people jerk me off, I kill them. That was good. That was good.
Then he says, I want a fast sports car with bad gas mileage, with reclining seats, and let's get cruise control in it too. He wants a what is the car called?
6000 SUX.
6000 SUX. 6000 sucks is basically what this is.
Yep.
And this car, like, when I heard it, I was like, what is that? Is that a real car? I looked it up, and it's not a real car, but they bring it back multiple times in the movie, which is just funny that they're like, we're making this a car of the future. This is what sports cars are going to look like.
Did we touch on the gas station scene?
No. Okay. That's coming up.
Okay.
Robo basically diffuses this situation by like grabbing the dude through the walls, like double hand grabs him, and then he punches him and knocks him out a window. It's like justice served. He just knocked this dude off a second story building.
He has X-ray vision, which again, I go to my point. I think he saw that cock. Just saying.
Okay, so then we get one of these commercials that's really absolutely wacky, which is basically like what I was talking about in Starship Troopers, the Nukem board game.
Yeah. Great.
It's so ridiculous.
I'm playing a shit out of that.
It's
They're
basically
like talking
Battleship.
about like it's like Battleship, but like in the Middle East. They're talking about being in like Pakistan and stuff.
It's so good.
It's very comical.
It's great.
Okay, so then basically RoboCop goes back to the police station. He's having like some dreams and some flashbacks, and he starts having some memories of the person he used to be. And he starts to realize that he's got some unfinished business to take care of. RoboCop is a revenge flick through and through. And so he's walking down the hallway. Lewis confronts him and starts calling him Murphy. And he tracks down this guy at the gas station. The guy that looks like Flea from
Emil.
Red Hot Chili Peppers. Yeah. You got some stuff you want to say about this part, Joe?
I mean, this is my hard moment. It's awesome. First of all,
walk us through it.
Well, he observes Emil sticking up the gas station. The guy's on a motorcycle, and Emil immediately recognizes RoboCop, which is funny, mainly because he uses the RoboCop line, "Dead or alive, you're coming with me," which he used in the first shooting when they basically effectively kill Murphy. But he's like, "You're dead. We killed you. We killed you." Funny that he's the first and only person who recognizes that RoboCop is Murphy. His partner has no idea. No one
saw him one time.
Yeah, no one in the precinct can tell, but Emil knows right away. Again, we get a lot of shooting RoboCop. Doesn't work. Clearly, RoboCop is pretty close to invincible. But what does happen is Emil's filling up his motorbike. He jumps on the bike, tries to ride away, and he flicks a cigarette because all this gas has been spilling everywhere. So you get a scene of RoboCop shooting at Emil as he's riding away on the motorcycle with the entire gas station and the parking lot like burning and blowing up at the same time, which is like the best shot of the movie, in my opinion. It's really awesome. Super cool shot.
Yeah, let's get a collective hard in 3, 2, 1.
Hard. Nice.
So RoboCop goes back to the police station and he wants to go check out some like files, and he wants to use the facial recognition of the guy that he just stopped to see if he can find a known associates. And when they're trying to stop him, they're like, "Hey, you can't do that." Like RoboCop picks up his fist and like he's got like a USB dagger that comes out like where his middle finger is.
I did like
it
this.
looks like he's like flipping him off. It's basically like a little mini Wolverine claw. Yeah. And he sticks it into the computer to like start downloading data to find all the known associates of the guy that he just stopped. I thought that was pretty funny.
Pretty convenient.
Pretty convenient.
This guy's a suspect for this. His rap sheet's fucking longer than a CVS receipt. Like, we're just leaving these guys out on the street, apparently.
Yeah. Well, this is when he starts to focus in on the crew that killed him. Bodeker's crew.
Yeah.
Yeah. He goes to the nightclub. This scene is so wacky.
It's crazy.
Where he like confronts one of the guys and the guy pulls out a gun and Robo hits the gun out of his hand and it falls into like some other dude that's dancing in the club. He gets the gun. He's like, "Yeah, I have a gun now." Just dancing. What is this?
That's good. That guy, that particular guy, the nightclub bad guy, has been in other stuff. And he's always like a scumbag. Like a greaseball. He's good in this. He tries to kick RoboCop in the crotch. Obviously, even worse than these guys shooting him. Clearly not going to work.
I love that they decided to add that in there. Like, hey, we should show someone trying to hit RoboCop.
Yeah.
And
kind of like your idea, Greg. I don't know.
Whoa, I never said that. I said I'm cold cocking RoboCop. He's getting knocked out.
Mark, your thoughts.
That just put yourself in that guy's shoes. You're at the club. You're dancing. You pull out a gun, you're done.
I'm not using a gun, man. I'm like MacGyver. I don't believe in weapons.
You're rocked.
I'm going to get my Swiss Army knife and unscrew that giant bolt in his head.
Yeah, you need to use the scissors on the Swiss Army knife and
clink. Could just cut one of those little oil feeds on the side of his neck. Okay, let's talk about this scene. We get Miguel Ferrer's character. What was his character's name in this?
Morton.
Morton.
Yeah, we get Morton basically partying with these girls, and they are just doing so much coke. Just like I'm assuming it's coke, whatever the drug of the future is, right?
I think they
Detroit drug.
Coke, yeah.
Detroit drugs, yeah.
Seems to be.
And like she's like dousing her chest with it, and someone knocks at the door, so he gets up to go to the door, and it's Clarence. Clarence basically shoots him in the legs and then plays a tape of his boss. And we get like a big reveal that Clarence is actually working for one of the guys at OCP.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Well, don't roll over the one of the better lines in the movie
Oh, go ahead.
when he has old boy and he just doesn't, I don't think he even looks at him. He just goes, "Bitches leave."
Oh, that's a great line. Amazing line, Weaver. Yes, Boddicker coming in. That's great.
And he says that, and he said he got the inspiration from that because Verhoeven, not English wasn't his, like, he can speak English, but it wasn't his best language or whatever. When he was talking to the actresses on the set, he's like, "Okay, and the bitches will go over here, and the bitches will go here," and I remember they were looking at each other, just like, "Okay, sure, whatever." So then he just fucking came up with the bitches leave.
Awesome.
But
oh yeah,
they were good sports about it. They had the actresses in the documentary, and they were just like, we were just having a good time.
That's a great line.
It's funny
Incredible
that
line.
one of the girls as she's like leaving, she's like, "You're gonna call me, right?"
Are you gonna call me?
I audibly laughed at bitches leave.
That's a great line.
Yeah, that's good.
Good one.
But
yeah, so go ahead, Joe.
Well, this takes us basically to the fourth classified directive, which is RoboCop cannot arrest or prosecute or harm any employee of OCP. And now we have OCP. We learned that OCP is basically like farming crime so that they can get the contracts to eradicate this crime and get even more money to build this new Delta Detroit that they've been talking about. So it's all a big conspiracy, all like privatization and kind of a commentary on capitalism and all this stuff. And that's when you start to realize, oh, how's he going to, the bad guys are OCP employees. Like how can he defeat them?
Right. Yeah, that's where like what Joe was saying, we find out that Directive 4 is basically that he can't arrest anyone from OCP.
Yeah.
And so when he shows up to the OCP building to arrest him, they unleash Ed 209 on Robo. And
how does that go for Ed?
Whoa,
your guy, Greg.
Ed, why so much hate for Ed 209?
He's incompetent.
Oh, he's great.
He sucks.
He's like a puppy.
Talk about the stairway scene.
Yeah, let's go over that.
Listen, so Ed 209 had one deep flaw in that he's bulky and he can't walk downstairs.
That's two flaws.
I mean, potato.
Also, he has trouble discerning innocent people from armed criminals.
Well, that's like a small glitch.
Okay. Go on.
I for one, am for Ed 209, and I welcome our robotic overlords.
Greg's like into the Cyberdyne. He's like the human beings supporting Cyberdyne in the future.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna end up at the with the seat at the round table.
Okay, go on.
So Ed kicks the shit out of RoboCop, who's obviously flawed.
Kinda.
By the way,
he actually blows Ed away with his own gun.
Yeah, he turns Ed's gun into his other arm and like makes him shoot. It's basically like a big brother, like why you hitting yourself?
Yeah, that's a good point.
And so Ed chases him, and Robo falls down some stairs or goes downstairs, and Ed tries to use the stairs, but we just didn't really think that far ahead. We had only used the elevator to get him up and down this building so far. Mm-hmm. And so Ed like falls, and he's basically like a T-Rex on his back, and he can't get up. He's like whining.
I like that he thinks about it a little bit when he's like putting his foot.
Yeah.
Like, can I do this?
Should I try?
The toe goes like this. It goes, wiggle.
Oh, the other thing that's crazy. Why does Ed sound like an alien xenomorph when he's on his back?
Oh, yes.
Like the robot screaming.
Yeah.
Made me hate him even more.
In the beginning, when they first unveiled Ed 209, like he sounds like a dog or a lion growling and barking.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, they did the sound design, the sound engineers or whatever, they did some like animal.
It was cool. I liked it.
It was neat.
But yes, when he falls on his back later, they kind of lifted some sounds from what feels like Alien, which was appropriate. So Ed gets defeated by stairs. Robo leaves through the bottom, and the police unload again an obscene amount of shots on him. Like, we've learned nothing.
Like this, though, remember?
Oh yeah. So Robo got smart, and he's like, "Can't shoot my mouth."
He did do that. That's right.
Covered his mouth, so he's completely bulletproof.
Yeah.
They don't have EMP grenades. They don't have grenades. They only have automatic guns and shotguns in this Detroit setting.
Yeah, that's true. Detroit's got problems. And then we basically, Lewis helps him escape, and we get another wacky commercial. Did you guys, the 6,000 sucks?
Yeah.
It's like, it shows like the dinosaurs. It was a wacky commercial. It's funny. It's very tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
Did you guys catch the miles per gallon on the
8.9 or something?
8.9 per mile? Yeah, it gets 8
bad.
to the gallon.
Yeah.
I was like, that's funny. And then we get some like news reports of police threatening to strike, and like basically like all hell is breaking loose in Detroit. And Dick orders Clarence to kill RoboCop, and he hooks him up with some. These guns are so comical. They are massive.
Well,
when he shows up with
it's the
them.
Barrett 50 caliber sniper rifle.
Mm-hmm.
It's bigger though.
I think they like extend the barrel and they put that huge optic on it.
Yeah.
The optic is huge. The stock looks huge.
Yeah.
Like the gun is just massive.
Yeah. And it's supposed to be the RoboCop killer, basically, because it's like an explodes on impact, which they show by shooting a bunch of cars in a very hilarious scene.
Yeah, all of that.
Because they're all released. They all get released. RoboCop has arrested these guys. They all get released. And that's when Boddicker shows up in one of the 6,000 SUXs, and one of the other henchmen shows up. And he's like, hey, Clarence, I got a car just like yours. And Boddicker's like, oh, great car. And he shoots the dude's car with one of those, what do they call the Cobra something? I don't know.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Boddicker is such
funny.
an asshole.
He is absolutely steals the movie in so many ways.
Yeah, he does.
We get a scene of RoboCop like licking his wounds and like pulling himself back together. He pulls his mask off.
Yeah, a little repair work.
Yeah, and he pulls his mask off, and like the drills that are holding his faceplate, like those bolts almost like touch each other. Like
very Frankensteinish.
Ding. Yeah, yeah, like holding that mask. They're massive. And basically, Lewis kind of helps. There's like a little bit of a romantic scene here. Like I kind of half expected like the soundtrack from Ghost, where she's like behind him, helping him like calibrate his gun.
Yeah.
It's good that they didn't add any romance.
Yeah, that would have been weird.
So that got cut out, and this is where like it really probably would have led to like some candlelit segues into like Robo.
She's feeding him baby food.
Yeah.
I'm sure that movie exists somewhere on the internet.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so the bad guys they show up to confront Robo, and they've all got their big guns. We got to talk about this a little bit here. He pops out from an alley or like a balcony, and he says like looking for me, and he like shoots one of the guys, and we get like a big shootout. One of the guys crashes his car into what looks like doo-doo water or something.
Toxic sludge.
It's Emil.
Yeah. He crashes into it, and he like pops out the back of the van after it gets soaked. It's very like Back to the Future when like Biff crashes into like the truck full of turds, the manure.
Yeah.
But we get the practical effects of him like decomposing, looking like it's cool.
This is like,
I like this scene.
This seemed like they were like Bottin was like, hey, can you guys give me more to do on this in this movie? I've already made the suits, but like, give me something else. And they're like, all right, how about this, slime scene where the guy like just gets burned, disfigured. It's awesome though. It's really good stuff.
Yeah.
It feels a little out of place from the movie.
For sure.
But I love it.
It's good. Yeah. This is like one of those things that, again, it fits into like the tone and the kind of B-level stuff that we're talking about. This is like a big aspect of why I think you would call this a B movie, because stuff like this. Super schlock.
Yes. Agreed. One of the goons is basically working like a crane that's got a bunch of big metal pieces in it.
Yeah.
And Robo's trying to basically walk down Clarence, and it feels like he's probably about to kill him, is what he's alluding to. And so the goon drops all the metal on top of Robo and traps him right there. Lewis shoots the guy in the crane with
She's
like
been
the big
wounded.
gun.
She's been wounded.
Yeah, she's been wounded.
Yeah.
And Clarence goes up to Robo, and this is my hard scene.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So Clarence stabs Robo like straight through the chest, almost like the end of Terminator 2.
A little bit like Terminator 1 too.
A little like Terminator 1 as well, right?
Because it's like a big spike.
It's a big metal like pole spike that he stabs right through his chest.
Yep.
And Robo pulls out his middle finger USB and just stabs him right in the neck. And like, it's cool because all the blood just instantly falls all over his chest.
There's
Apparently
so much
that
blood.
was Verhoeven just above the camera, and he just had a fucking huge cup. He's like, "Give me that fucking cup." And right when it just goes, boom, just fucking through.
Wow.
And it came out fucking
It
perfect.
looks great.
Yeah.
And he's like spouting blood.
Yeah.
Good scene.
There's a lot of cool stuff that they did with the blood like that. Like, there's a really cool scene that I forgot to mention when Clarence got arrested. He like Robo takes him to the police station and says,
Awesome.
"Book him." And Clarence is like standing right at the counter. He spits blood onto some paper. That wasn't written in the movie.
First scene he shot too. The Kurtwood Smith shot.
Yeah,
Was scene.
he just did that. It was like, oh, so good.
Great scene.
Yeah. Anyways, so Clarence is dead. All the goons are dead. And basically, RoboCop shows up to the OCP headquarters where Ed 209 is waiting outside. Robo's got the big gun, shoots Ed, kills him, goes upstairs.
Easy as pie.
Yeah, you know. Ed's got his flaws.
Does he?
He's not perfect. We're working on him, Joe. It's a work in progress. So Robo gets up to the top floor and confronts Dick, and Dick knows that Robo can't arrest him, and so because he works for OCP, and that's part of the directive. So Robo plays a video that he's got of Ed or of Dick confessing, and so the CEO of OCP fires him, and at that point, he doesn't fall under Directive 4. Pulls out his gun, shoots him. This is probably the only part of the movie that I thought that didn't hold up as far as like special effects.
The falling scene?
Yeah,
the falling scene where he's like falling off the building.
Tough.
They talk about that in the documentary.
What'd they say?
Well, it was they actually had the guy who made the little model, and everyone was like, yeah, we kind of fucked up on that one. And apparently they said maybe, because I think they shot it on a 26 millimeter lens, but it was supposed to be on an 86 millimeter lens, and there was some kind of confusion there. So the perspective of his limbs got all fucked up on that 26, and
so that's why it came out a little sloppy.
Yeah. The proportions could have been a little bit better, and the lens choice kind of fucking 1-2 combo that one.
And so that's basically the end of the movie.
It literally stops right there.
Yeah.
We get like RoboCop on the screen, which is cool. But we don't know if like Lewis is okay. We don't get any mention of like, does he meet back up with his family? They're just like, this is it. We're done.
Yeah.
We don't need any more.
We definitely don't. No. It's like 90 minutes. It's like 91 minutes, like perfectly.
It's tight.
Yeah.
I love this movie.
Agreed.
It's good.
What would you rate this movie, Joe, on a scale of 1 to 5?
I think this is a solid 4-star.
Nice.
This is a B movie. And again, like, maybe people are confused about how we rate movies, but like, I'm not comparing RoboCop to Godfather 2. I'm comparing it to like in its genre. This is like an action movie that has social commentary to it. An 80s action movie. This is a 4-star movie. It's great.
I love it.
It's really good.
Mark, what do you rate this?
I'm actually comparing it to Godfather 2. It's going to get a 4.2 out of me, which is very high for me. You know, I'm a stickler about these kinds
That's
of
very
things.
high. Yeah.
Yeah. But RoboCop does a really good job at being timeless. You talk about how the movies, they're like, oh, what is the future going to be like? obviously it misses a couple marks, but as far as like cinematography, sound, lighting, director, like the way he directed it, the dialogue in it isn't cheesy. It's not like I mean, it is cheesy, but it's not like
cheese.
you're watching a fake. Yeah, it's not like you're watching like a porn.
You know
You
this,
know what I mean? There's a lot of B movies that feel like
Mark's the stuff that we didn't talk about. One thing that we didn't talk about when he goes to arrest Kurtwood Smith, Boddicker, the first time in the drug bust shootout. Great action scene.
Mhm.
But he's like throwing him through all those glass,
All the
panes of glass.
Yeah.
And each time Kurtwood has like a new like thing. He's like, you motherfucker, and he gets thrown through the glass. He's like, you can't touch me, you can't do this. All of that dialogue was like awesome. Great stuff.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah,
good.
it's really
good, and it doesn't feel cheap.
No.
It doesn't feel cheesy. Like they could, like that movie really does withstand time. So I'm glad we watched it. 4.2.
Okay.
Hard.
Weaver.
I would have to definitely give it a 5 for me. Like I said in the beginning, like I'd seen it, and I knew it. There was something about it that I really, really loved. And then you told me you guys were going to do this podcast, and I watched it again, and then I watched all that other shit. And I think what I would give all the credit to Paul Verhoeven, and for me, watching the documentary, I don't know how this will come off, but he apparently was a motherfucker. Like he would cuss people out. He was very, very, very aggressive. And I found, and I don't know how it's not so much in style today, but like 10 years ago, I've noticed like working with DPs and working with directors who just like the best ones are some of the biggest fucking assholes. They are just like so aggressive. They're just like, they give a fuck so much that the niceties are, it's not a concern. It's like, we're here to do a fucking job, make this fucking movie. Let's go. And when I saw that, I was just like, I mean, that's why it's so fucking good, man. Because you got this fucking madman directing this fucking ship, and just and I guess the hard moment for me, I don't know if it's hard, but when he just says his name, Murphy,
awesome.
It's hard.
It's fucking.
It's hard.
It's I don't know why it gets me so much, but it does.
The movie would lose some of its shine if he said, what's your name? And he said RoboCop, I'd be like, oh.
I mean, it would ruin the movie. Yeah. It'd be a completely different fucking movie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is like the best part of the movie. I'm with Weaver. I really like that scene a lot.
Yeah.
It's very reminiscent to our Looper hard moment.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
It's a good movie.
That was good.
I rate this movie probably 4.5.
Oh, it's huge. That's huge.
I pretty much hate everything, but I love this movie.
Greg doesn't really. He always comes to stuff with like, why is this movie bad? Before he's even seen it.
Yeah, well, I hadn't seen this in so long. I remembered almost all of it, but it's just been so long since I've seen it. And going back and watching it again. So, for instance, I have really fond memories of Willow. I loved that movie. And I thought I liked it more than I did. Same thing with Bloodsport.
Ooh,
I
Bloodsport's
thought
tough,
I liked
man.
I thought I liked Bloodsport more than I actually do.
That movie's
does not hold
Yeah.
up. It did not hold up on our rewatch.
But when we went and rewatched it, I was like, why did I like this movie so much?
Yeah, you were a kid.
And so I thought RoboCop was going to be something similar, but watching it now, I was like, no, this movie's tough as nails.
It's good.
This movie rules.
Yeah, very good. Very political, but still like entertaining.
I asked you guys a question at the beginning off air. I said, RoboCop's catchphrase was "Dead or alive, you're coming with me." If you had to arrest someone, what would be your catchphrase?
I'll start us off. Let me get close to my mic.
Yeah.
You. I have. Imagine I have a 12 gauge sawed-off shotgun.
Yeah,
that would be my choice of weapon.
Yeah.
You brought a knife to a gunfight. I brought the law.
Oh my god!
Kind of Judge
Tough.
Dreddy.
Yeah. Tough.
I didn't come up with anything, Greg, because you sprang this on me, and I didn't have time to think about it. So my answer is I don't have a line. Thanks, buddy.
Well, Joe, you used to be a police officer.
Yeah.
Did you ever say anything cool when you
No.
arrested people?
No, it was a job. I wasn't in a movie.
Oh, nice.
I have another one for Joe. Here's Joe. I've read you your rights because you've done a lot of wrongs.
That's pretty good, actually. Wow, you just came up with that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty good.
Greg, do you have one?
I don't think I got one.
Unbelievable.
Who's your question?
Yeah, what the hell, man?
Your fucking question.
What do you got, Weaver?
Again, the only thing that comes to my mind would be, you remember The Usual Suspects?
Sure.
Yeah.
And you remember where he goes, "Give me the keys." I would just say, "You're under arrest." That's the only thing that came to my brain.
There you go.
That's it. That's all I got.
That's as much. I mean, with the prep time that we were given for this question, that's a pretty good answer.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'll work on the prep time. I'm just amazed at what Mark was able to come up
That
with.
was
Those are really
That
good.
was good. Yeah.
Greg,
good.
what's next,
why,
man?
Why do you ask these questions?
We got. Oh man, this has been in the making. Fast and the Furious watch along.
Which one?
Yeah.
We're
First
doing the
one.
first one.
Okay.
We're taking it
Can't
back.
wait.
It's a family.
We've got that, and then we've got one more movie at the tail end. I think we said, did we agree on Wet Hot American Summer?
I don't know. It's on the list. We got a couple things we can talk about.
Yeah, we're not sure what the final movie is going to be, but we got two more this season. Fast and Furious watch alongs up next. Let's go ahead and do our sign offs, Joe.
Oh yeah, sign off.
Wait. First off, big
Weaver.
shout out to Big Weave for coming in,
Weave.
stepping up to the plate,
Weave.
You know, it was a lot of fun.
Thanks, dude.
talking some RoboCop with us,
And a great recommendation.
Yes. And as far as Prime Cut Podcast goes, I'm Greg, and I pretty much hate everything.
I'm Joe, and I'm here to recommend the movies you should see.
It's like somehow it gets worse. I don't understand.
I mean, I didn't come up with it, guy. You're forcing me. I'm being held at gunpoint to say this thing. Go on, Mark. What's your part?
God. And I'm Mark. I try my best to not get us canceled. Then I keep us, level-headed and just wonderful, and everything's great. Thank you again, Weaver, for being
Thanks,
here.
guys.
Thank you guys.
This
It
was
a lot of
good.
fun. I appreciate it.
We out.